There's a lot of things happening in the cryptocurrency land, but to make it, you're going to have your pointy elbows ready to dispel all the FUD, because the cryptocurrency industry is no stranger to volatility, FUD. People don't know what they're talking about. I mean, what makes it harder is people who do know what they're talking about also cheat lows and buy the tops. I want to show you something. Stablecoin super cycle. Check this out. My friend Kyle the Circumsizer. Like I said, friends, do not fall asleep at Kyle's house. A guy who calls himself the Circumciser. You know what I mean? Just think about it. And here's Richie Hart. Here is all of me. All right. What are we talking about? Stablecoin super cycle. Every day, stablecoin super cycle is confirming. It is moving beyond meme coin super cycle. We are bringing cash, putting it on the blockchain, which is a chain of blocks. And we're bringing in everyone out there in the normie world who basically, they want to look at a dollar. They want it to be a dollar tomorrow. Most people are just not built for finance. They don't care. You know what I mean? They're surgeons. They're fixing chairs. They're, you know, the plumber. They're renovating backyards. They can't compute inflation and global M2 money supply. They don't know what the hell's going on. But we do. Some people say, hey, if someone out there who may or may not have lived on top of a sandwich shop, if they actually were behind this, why wouldn't you just come out and say it? Well, I'm going to come out and tell you. Let me get this straight, friends. You just watched the deep state assassinate Nikolai, the DAI co-founder, and the world crack hard on stablecoins. I want you to remember that. Okay? You remember, friends. Rest in peace, Nikolai. This was Nikolai's last post. His username was delete shitcoin. He goes, the Coconut Intelligence Agency and Mossad and the pedophile elite ring are running some kind of child lollipop ring entrapment out of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. They're going to frame me with a laptop planted by my ex-girlfriend who was a spy. They will torture me to death. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst things that happened in our bear market. October 2022, that was near the bottom, right? It was very, very disastrous. And yeah, they took him. They took his life, friends. So he drowned in like knee-deep water. Here you go. This was Nikolai out here. So I'm just going to tell you, man, I knew at least a bit curious about how maybe the last guy who actually made DAI, they like, you know, ended his life. You're just a bit curious, right? So that like increases the probability that maybe you shouldn't say anything. Next thing. Do you honestly think, friends, Richard Hart is retardio enough to release a stablecoin tied to his name just so you can feel better about fading pDAI? So, yeah, man, they're all rumors. There's no confirmations. There's twists and turns of the story, but you understand why you don't want to do this. Okay, there's stablecoin regulation. The last thing you want to do is put your name on a stablecoin. That's the last thing you want to do because they have extreme amounts of regulation on you now. You have to get an audit every month. So, what are some strategies you can do? Number one, don't call it a stablecoin. You can call it a Ping Pong Coin. That's one of your strategies. It's very advantageous to do that because you're called something else, right? You know, friends, I did this research in 2022. I found out what I did was I went through some, this is what I just noticed myself. I went through some of the big Ponzi's that collapsed in crypto. There's ones that you don't even heard. I'd never heard of them. You never heard of them. And because they got a lot of normies. And there's a common theme I noticed. On their website, if they claimed to give you US denominated yield, they were taken down swiftly, no remorse. The judge literally throws away the key, throws the book at them every single time. Okay, and so I started noticing, oh, if you go after the sanctity of the US dollar, watch out, because America protects that like a mama bear and her cubs. You get it? So this isn't a stable coin. If this works out, it's not a stable coin. You understand? It's a ping pong coin. It's algorithmic. There's no fiat backing it, right? But it also evokes this type of imagery as well. This is amazing. Look at this. And Hexangelo, Tards will be Tards. Thank you. That's exactly what I want to see. Tards will be Tards. Also, if I scroll down, baby dolls, there's a comment here from Mr. Bazbestos. I read it first. I thought Mr. Baziboo, I thought he was getting a bit frisky with us. No, he's not. So he says, literally one of the worst takes I've ever read in my life. And that is from an apparent leader within Pulse Chain. Mind blown. So I initially thought he's talking about me. I was like, what are you talking about? Did you read a message? And I checked out. No. He was talking about what we're referring to. He's referring to, there's another Pulse Chain KOL friends. There's RHMaxi. He pretty much said, and other, it's kind of funny. That's so weird how my brain's like, the Decoy stablecoin. So, you know, he had a post basically saying, this is a while ago, right here. He said, how about this theory? Richard Heart is still making a decentralized stablecoin, but it's not pDAI. Doesn't that make the most sense at this point? So that's why I just wanted to show you, friends. I get it. Look, there's no antagonistic vibes or anything. We're all friends, okay? I'm just showing you how, okay, the guy who made DAI is dead, number one. Number two, I've now told you, see, friends, if a retardio like me, who pegs his own nipples on the internet, who has pointy elbows, if a retardio like me was able to quickly realize that the US government sends the full force, I'm talking Spetsnaz, rocket launchers, anything, if you go after the sanctity of the US dollar, you would think twice about it, wouldn't you? It makes sense. If you do any research into this, I've already shown you this. I went and checked it out. I go, oh, wow. Don't ever go after the US dollar. Don't claim to be US dollar handing out nothing, because there's only one source that can hand out the US dollar. US treasuries. The government makes the currency. They have the money printer, okay? Friends, it would be like someone else claiming to give you hex yield. Imagine that. Like Richard would be like, no, it's a scam. Check the code. Check on chain. The only way you can get hex yield is through the T-shares. You understand the sanctity of that? It would be like that. But this is obviously the US dollar. It's world domination at this point, right? So the play is bigger here. Now, here's the thing, right? Look, if it works out, it would be experimental. We've never seen anything like it before. Is it a threat? No, it's just an alternative. Just like how Bitcoin's an alternative to the US dollar, okay? Because here's the thing, with pDAI, let's say it did go ping pong to $1. Let's say it did go there. Well, you don't have any backing. You don't have 10 to 20 years of history. And how would you get the yield? I guess it's from the fees. It fluctuates. There's no guarantee. And by the way, there's code. And where does the thing live? Do you understand? All these unknowns. There's risks with it. That's why it's different to just grabbing a US dollar. But if it works out, it'll be juicy. All right? I'm also prepared for Liberty Swap Finance, friends. I just want to show you this. This is what time my brain goes, because we're so paranoid. pDAI went to zero twice, man. You know what I mean? Like when you go to zero twice, right? We can be forgiven for being a bit skeptical about what might come around the corner. I am totally prepared for the Decoy stablecoin FUD to get released by Liberty Swap Finance tweet account, where he reveals himself to be the Vietnamese Dong Kid all along. Liberty Swap. So we've been hearing, friends, recently. Now, so obviously by the time you see this, like this, what's been happening over time is like the account had been like moving towards, this is what my brain was like. As soon as I saw it, I go, well, the account's moving towards, oh, I'm actually Richard all along. And I'm just thinking, I don't trust it, man. I don't trust it. There's probably going to be a post later on. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Richard's going to make an official tweet. It goes, I heard a stupid rumor that one of the projects on here is actually run by me. I can tell you right now, it's not. Yeah, we don't believe it, man. Look, here's the thing. Basically, what I'm telling you is when you hold something that goes to zero twice and gets fudded by the guy who founded the chain, pretty much nothing shakes you out at this point. You know what I mean? Like everything, you've gone through everything. And by the way, you don't trust anything, right? You don't even trust the space in front of you anymore. I've written here, hopefully at this point, though, when the FUD happens, pDAI has hit 10 cents. Man, that'll be wild. Because, you know, friends, from April 19th, that was Gravestone Emoji Day. If pDAI hits 10 cents, that's a 330 times return if you bought the Gravestone. That's giant, man. You know, 1 cent, by the way, that's at 10 cents. And so if you just go back to pDAI 3 cents, right around its all-time high, that's a 110 times return, man, for buying a Gravestone emoji. Never seen anything like it. But we still rely on the economic factors, macro factors. Meth has to keep pumping. Obviously, that's all tied to the business cycle. Business ISM got to keep cranking up. Don't skits out on us. I believe we're going to build into this. I'm just guessing, man. Just guessing once again. I don't know. But it feels like we have to end with some mania, right? Not just in crypto, but the world. So friends, I have a video here. I'm going to show you this. Firstly, this is there's a robot in the bottom right. It absolutely goes mental skits. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. That's honest. That's scary, dude. I was laughing. I was like, wait a minute. That can tear your flesh instantly. That's hilarious, though. Look at this guy. Make the robot stop, guys, please.
I'm so sorry.
Wait, listen to it again. The robot says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Listen.
What was that? I'm so sorry.
What the fuck did you guys run?
That's gold, man. That's gold. It could have been another girl in there, but it would be funny if they used that for the actual robot voice. So, man, that's wild. So they're already programming stuff. Friends, you understand, man. Like, you roll this robotic stuff in 50 to 100 years. If the robots in your home are compromised, they could just slice you up. It'd be so funny to just think about the thousands of things that can go wrong. But it's funny now. Why? Because we've got to build into the mania. Build into the mania, and then it'll get serious. Like, wait a minute. You know, we have to think about this stuff. So remember, robotics, AI, quantum stuff, it's all like futuristic nerds, lab coat scientists out here, like tinkering away and like doing calculator equations. You know what I mean? Those dudes just do some tech stuff, right? That's what we're building into. So as long as that keeps going into the future, remember, because we know crypto is an extension of the business cycle, right? As AI keeps going, computers get faster, AI, everything keeps pumping. It just inspires us to forget about the island, to forget about the deep state for 2 seconds and just imagine a better tomorrow. And that means you get more optimistic, people spend more, the positive flywheel happens in the economy. They don't need to print as much money because everybody's like circulating cash. And then we keep doing that until the economy gets hot again. But yeah, that will make people speculate on the future. That's how everyone takes out further risk along the curve. And that's where we're nearing the end. And that, my friends, is probably how all the crypto narratives just seem to come together, right? That's how they all conclude pretty much with all these macro factors coming out here. And then you have whatever your big event is, right? And you think they're not related, but they're all happening on the same timeline. Like, for example, in 2021... the top of Dogecoin and actually altcoins, like still to today, man, it's been 4.5 years. My gosh, it's been 4.5 years. The top was Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live Doge Mania. And I'm just going to show you that chart. That's it right here, man. Still to this day, we've never come back. I mean, like, for pretty much everything. There we go. 3rd of May, 2021, Dogecoin Mania. Isn't that crazy? That's like, it starts with the zombie virus. They print a lot of money. We move into DeFi season. Elon Musk discovers crypto, gets into Bitcoin, looks at Ethereum, skips all of that, you know, besides buying BTC, of course. Then he goes into Dogecoin, and then everything runs up. You even have, friends, right here, Mia Khalifa, your favorite librarian. She buys Doge, and she calls it a dog stock. She calls it the dog stocks. She makes it. Everyone thinks she bought the top. Then it goes another 10x. You know what I mean? And then it all concludes up here. So maybe in our one, maybe like... the fundamentals are different. Maybe because back then the fundamentals was just, it was money printing. Do you know what I mean? It's paper. That's not the real juice, right? That we're looking for if we want like a proper double bubble alt season. Hopefully with our cycle, the fundamentals are everything I just said. You know, robotics, AI moving forward, all of them getting smarter, higher IQ. And that hopefully is the underlying driving factor to put all the eyes on us. But until then, we're going to keep holding on. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.